Reddit, what's your favorite short horror story? In a small, sleepy town nestled in the hills, there was a bakery unlike any other. It was tucked away at the farthest corner of Main Street, right next to an ancient oak tree that seemed to whisper secrets in the wind. The bakery's name was Whimsy and Crumble, and it had the most peculiar reputation. The owner, an elderly woman named Mrs. Beatrix Crumble, had been baking her famous pastries for as long as anyone could remember. She was known for her magical scone, her dream-inducing donuts, and her utterly addictive apple tarts. But there was something strange about Mrs. Crumble. She was always alone in the shop, never had visitors, and spoke only in rhymes. Come for the pie, but beware the rye. It'll change your heart or tear it apart. She would sing as she handed over warm pastry to anyone who walked in. No one could ever understand what she meant, but they couldn't resist returning for another taste of her mysterious creations. One foggy afternoon, a curious traveler named Oliver wandered into the bakery. He was new to the town and had heard whispers about Mrs. Crumble's peculiar shop. Intrigued, he stepped. His sign of freshly baked goods filled the air, and Mrs. Crumble greeted him with her usual rhyme, "Pie for smile, stay for a while." She handed him perfectly golden pie, steam rising from the cracks in its crust. "Thanks," Oliver said, taking a cautious bite. To his surprise, it was unlike any pie he'd ever tasted. Sweet, savory, and strangely comforting. He sat at nearby tables, savoring each bite, when something odd happened. He began to feel different. His thoughts slowed, his vision blurred, and soon he was no longer sitting in the bakery. He was standing in the middle of dense forest. The trees were twisting, their trunks shifting in odd directions. Glowing moon hovered above him, casting an eerie light over the scene. Voice echoed through the forest, cold and familiar. "Welcome to Whimsy and Crumble, Oliver." He spun around, but there was no one there. Just then, Mrs. Crumble appeared, standing atop tree branches. If gravity meant nothing to her. "You've eaten the pie. Now you'll stay. Forever." Oliver, panicking, tried to run, but his legs refused to move. The forest seemed to stretch on endlessly, and the trees whispered his name. "Stay and bake, Oliver. Bake for all eternity. Your hands will never rest, your heart will never forget." Suddenly memory flashed before his eyes, of his childhood, his family, and the bakery he'd grown up in. But there was no bakery in his town. In fact, there was no bakery at all. And then it clicked. He wasn't in some enchanted forest. He was still sitting in the bakery, the pie in his lap, Mrs. Crumble staring at him with wicked grin. The pie. "You've eaten it, Oliver," she whispered softly, "and now you've joined the bakery." Oliver blinked and looked around. He wasn't in the town anymore. He was the bakery. His hands were now embedded in the flour, his body made up of sugar and spice. Every time someone walked into Whimsy and Crumble, they were eating a piece of him. Mrs. Crumble wasn't just baker. She was the keeper of lost souls, and Oliver had become the latest.